Parents are to lead your children. Parents, you're to be deeply involved in your kids' lives. You're to have an active role in helping them to become more like Jesus. And this is a major, major issue within our society. Society says, well, parents, you just let them loose, and they'll figure it out along the way. But the Bible teaches very differently that, hey, we're supposed to be a part of our kids' lives. We're supposed to minister to them, to pray with them, to read God's Word with them, and to discipline them. And absolutely, we need to be willing to do that. So don't step back, parents. If anything, get more involved in your kids' lives. And if you realize you've made mistakes in the past, and you're saying, how do I fix that? Just take them to the Scriptures and say, look, I've made some mistakes as a parent. I need to be a lot more involved in your life, and you need to submit to me because that's the way God's designed it. So just take them to the Word and say, this is what it says, and this is what we're doing, and so things are going to change. So if you need to make changes, just go ahead and do that. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, parents are told to bring up their children in the training and the admonition of the Lord. And that would bring us to verse 21 if you look at that. So kids, you can breathe easy now. Verse 21 says, fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. So fathers, you have a responsibility to watch over your kids, to discipline them, to help them to learn the difference between that which is right and that which is wrong. And yet, as you do that, as you go about that task, make sure that you are not overbearing in your child's life. Have you ever said something to your child that didn't seem like a big deal to you, but when you said it, you could see that you wounded them? Kids can so quickly feel like you've pushed them down or you've said very negative things about them, even when you don't feel that or that you're trying to convey that or be that harsh. So we as fathers need to be gentle as we correct and guide and teach our kids. And fathers, your kids need to know that they are loved. And what does that mean? That means that you spend time with them, that you give of your life to them, that you listen to them and have conversation with them. And I know, fathers, that sometimes that's tough, right? You've been at work all day, and you come home and you would like to just relax. But keep in mind that just because you've finished your day at work doesn't mean that your ministry or your busyness is over with. Your kids absolutely need to spend time with you and hear from you on a daily basis. And one question I have written down here is, fathers, what are your kids going to say about you when they're older in life? What are the things they're going to remember about you? Are they going to remember that you were there, that you spent time with them? Or are they going to say, well, my dad was just gone all the time. He was out on the golf course all the time, or he was out doing his hobbies and didn't have time for me. So I just encourage you to think about that. And to know that the blessing of being a parent is that you get to be a part of your child's life. I think I saw a statistic somewhere that said, and I don't want to be exact on this, but basically the point was that by the time your kids turn like 16 or so, you've already spent like 85% of the time that you're going to ever spend with them in their life by the time they're 16 years old. So just keep in mind, if you've got little ones, boy, just spend time with them and enjoy that. Fathers, one of the greatest failures in our society is that dads have been marginalized and pushed down. I read an article the other day that had some interesting statistics in it about fathers. And if you go to our website on the teaching, you can actually find that article. I've added that on there so you can look at it. But it gave some interesting statistics. It said if a father does not go to church, even if his wife does, only 1 child in 50 will become a regular church attender. If a father does go regularly, regardless of what the mother does, between 2/3 and 3/4 of their children will attend church as adults. So major statistics there. Another survey found that if a child is the first person in a household to become a Christian, there is a 3.5% probability that everyone else in the household will follow. If the mother is the first one to become a Christian, there is a 17% probability that everyone else in the house will follow. But when a father is the first one to come to Christ, there is a 93% probability that everyone else in the household will follow. So here's the point, dads. The way that you respond to God's calling on your life will absolutely affect your child. You have a major influence on them, and you have a major calling on your life to be an awesome father, an example to them. Fathers, you need to understand that if you have taken a back seat in your child's life, then you are failing, and you need to course correct immediately and become involved in your child's life. And you must make your faith a priority, and you must actively pursue an incredible relationship with your children. So men, we need to stand up. I know that society pushes us down and says we don't matter. They kind of portray that. Like, when's the last time you saw a father who was good on television? A good, outstanding dad? You don't see it anymore. They're always dorks who are not involved, right? So, we need to turn that around and understand that it is your calling in life to be the authority in your house and to be an example to your kids and to your wife. Okay, now we come to